for joining me for this Embodied Flow yoga practice. So bringing yourself to a comfortable seated position and just taking a couple of breaths here to arrive, allowing the attention to move inwards. You might close your eyes as I have done, or just take a soft gaze. And just feeling the sitting bones on the floor and that movement of breath in and out of the body. Allowing yourself to feel that you are fully arriving onto your mat, into your body and into this practice. And fluttering your eyes open, take a look around you, bring yourself back into the space that you're in. And we're going to find some wide fingers and then scrunch the hands in, opening them up, scrunching them in, just starting to bring a little bit of gentle awareness into the hands, and then finding these circling movements into the hands and the wrists here. This is our silk reeling practice. You might reverse the directions of the circles in the wrists. And then I invite you to let the movement grow. So moving into the elbows now. And really make this practice your own. There's no particular way that you need to do this. The hands don't have to be moving in the same direction or at the same time. Just be quite playful. Maybe even closing your eyes. And then I invite you to widen the circles again, bringing some movement into the shoulders. And again, you can't do this wrong, so just exploring your body, this sense of flow, of movement, maybe reversing the circles and seeing how that feels, really experiencing this practice from the inside out. Then we'll lower the hands down and just take a little bit of easy, gentle movement into the shoulders. You might again let this grow, maybe moving from side to side or finding some circles here. So just exploring sensation in your body. And if you've taken some circles, you might want to reverse, moving into the other direction. Coming back to some stillness, we're going to make our way onto our hands and knees, so our tabletop position. Have your wide fingers, your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees as a starting point, but then take any movement that feels good in your body. So this is a little bit of a freestyle practice today. And this is your opportunity to be an explorer of the body, of the feelings, of the sensations, and trusting in that sense of wisdom in the body. So you might want to come down onto the elbows, as I have done here, which can sometimes feel quite nice in the wrists, have that rest, or you can stay on the hands and knees, really whatever you would like here. Then coming back into hands and knees, we're going to open up, lifting the left arm and then threading it through. This is called our thread the needle. You might extend the right arm out in front, or maybe even see how it feels to take that arm behind the back. So finding a full breath here in this shape. And then we'll release that arm back down, pressing into the earth. We'll find a little bit of opening through the left arm, then bringing that arm down. And we'll take it to the other side. The right arm extends. Then we thread it through. You might come onto the right shoulder, maybe the right side of the head. Option to reach that arm out in front or send it up to the ceiling and behind the back. Take a cycle of breath here. Re-extending through the arm, pressing the body away, re-extending through that right arm and coming back into our tabletop position. Taking the hands a hand width further in front, tucking the toes here and just hover the knees off the floor. This is our hovering tabletop. Just to give a different sensation, feeling into that. We'll lower the knees, and then when you're ready, you can send the hips up, find your downward facing dog. And as I always invite you here, you might bend and straighten into one leg and the other, taking your dog for a walk, finding some nice gentle movement here, maybe into the shoulders as well. And you can walk the feet towards the hands, maybe even the hands towards the feet. So we find that ragdoll forward fold here, maybe holding the elbows with the opposite hands, taking a gentle rock from side to side. We're going to roll all the way up, pressing into the feet, stacking the vertebrae one on top of the other. Take the shoulders up and back and down the spine as you find a little bit of opening here. And then we'll sweep the arms up and round. We'll take hold of one wrist with the opposite hand, and then finding a little bit of length here as we find a side stretch, then switching over. So we're drawing in the opposite direction to the hand that is being held. Releasing the hands all the way down, bringing the hands onto the hips here. We're just going to warm up through the ankles. So lifting the right foot off the floor, and you might just have it an inch or so, just finding a little bit of movement, some circles into that ankle joint. And then give the leg a little bit of a shake, and we'll swap sides. So finding again some circles, exploring that range of movement, and then taking those circles in the other direction, and giving it a shake off. Fabulous. Okay. I'm going to turn to the side here so you can see both sides of our balancing. We'll draw the hands into the heart and we'll lift the right foot up off the floor. And you might just play here with hovering the foot. You might see how it feels to lift the foot a little bit higher. Finding your gazing point, something that you can focus on. And then I invite you to take the arms out wide and explore how it feels to take that leg behind. Maybe even finding a little bit of a forward bend here. You might reach the hands back towards the foot and just noticing that proprioception, the body in space. Then we'll draw that leg all the way up, maybe giving it a squeeze in if that's accessible, and maybe coming down more gracefully than I did there as we shake the legs off. Hands back to the heart space, and we're going to lift the left leg now. So finding something that you can look at that's not moving to support with that balance. And being aware of how the body is supporting itself to balance here. We take the leg back, an option to stay quite upright here or explore that sense of folding forward. An option again to reach the hands behind, back towards the foot. And then if you can, drawing that knee forward and through, give it a squeeze in and release it down, and just give everything, legs and arms, a bit of a shake off. And we're going to come back down to the floor in any way that you would like to here. Send the legs out in front of you. We find that staff pose, and we're going to draw the right knee in and give it a little bit of a squeeze. Option to step that foot down or step it over. And we're going to find length through the spine first, then wrap the left arm around that right leg. Bring the right hand to the floor behind you, keeping that nice straight line through the spine here. So we're not leaning backwards. We're finding that twist, noticing how it feels to twist, and then we'll come back to the center. Give the legs a little bit of a shake off. And then we find the length through the spine, draw the left leg in, step it down or step it over, find the length in the spine, and then we wrap the right arm around that left leg, right fingertips come behind, find length, and then maybe finding a little bit of a twist here, stacking the head and the heart and the pelvis in one straight line. And then uncurling, coming back to the center, sending the legs out straight, give them a shake. Up and down, side to side, and then coming down onto your back in any way that you would like. So I've come down here one vertebrae at a time, but if there's a more comfortable way that you would like to take, then choose that. We're going to draw the heels a little bit closer in towards the buttocks, extend the right leg up to the ceiling. I'm just going to explore some movement here as we lower that right leg down. towards the floor, and then draw the knee in towards the chest, straightening that leg back up to the ceiling. Just going to find 3 of these rotations here, noticing how this feels in the body. Bringing the leg down, almost like it was going to come to the floor, but then drawing the knee in and then sending the heel up to the ceiling. Find a bit of a stretch into the back of that right leg, and you might take some movement into the feet, maybe pointing, flexing, circling. An option to have a little bit of a squeeze, a bit of a feel into the muscles of the legs here. And having that sense of curiosity about sensation. And we'll switch legs, bring the right foot down, extend the left leg up to the ceiling, and we'll find those movements first of all. So straight leg comes down as if it was going to come to the floor, then we bend that knee, we draw it into the chest, we send the heel up. We'll take 2 more of these circling flows, lowering the leg down, drawing the knee in, and sending the heel up to the ceiling. And 1 more of those, staying curious about sensation in the body. Then when you re-extend that leg up, you might take a clasp behind the left thigh, maybe draw that leg into the body, finding again that pointing and flexing, circling and moving. An option to bring a little bit of palpating, it's called, as we bring that touch, of exploring into those muscles and bending that knee, drawing both knees in towards the body. And you can find some circles here, maybe using the hands to open the knees and find some circles, or you can keep the knees together and circle them in the same direction. And we're going to come down to our backs, so option to keep the knees bent or to send the legs out straight. The legs are out straight, you might take them to the outer edges of the mat, let the toes roll out. The arms can come alongside the body, palms to the floor or palms to the ceiling. You can bring the hands onto the body if that feels more comfortable. You might snuggle the shoulder blades down the spine and away from the body, away from the ears, sorry. Maybe taking an inhale and a sighing exhale. Release down and allow the body to be held and supported by the earth underneath you. Breathing here into the abdomen, allowing that diaphragmatic breath and allowing the body to come to its own natural stillness here. And then we'll bring a little bit of movement back into the body as we wiggle fingers and toes, reach the arms and legs away from each other, and then draw the knees in towards you. You might take a gentle rock and sway from side to side here, and then coming back up to a seat in any way that feels comfortable for you. I invite you to make yourself comfortable, take any movement you would like, then we'll sweep the arms up and round. The palms are going to touch overhead and we'll draw the hands down in front of the heart space. We close our practice. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.